my money and my heart say fourth round stoppage, Nate Diaz somehow,
To pay out some
money
good money.
wise, and my heart, but my mind and I guess my reality of it is I see it being another callback to old Nate Diaz Nate Diaz versus Rory McDonald. What Rory McDonald did to him, I feel like is gonna be similar but just worse, unfortunately. And in my mind, like I said, my mind says Hamzat winning. And I'd say within three. Pretty dominant. But like I said, my heart and my money has gone to Nate, fourth round finish.
No, I mean you got to bet some money to win some money, bro. You
Yeah.
got to take risk. I bet on Juliana Pena to win the first time, and so no one gave her a shot in hell. So you
Hmm.
never know. MMA is different. MMA is unique.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hypocritical AF podcast. I'm your host, Albert Fig, and in this week's episode, we are focusing on highlighting everything MMA, UFC 279, and some boxing, and then getting to know a new friend of mine, Jose Matos. What's up, man? Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure, man.
All the way from Texas.
Yeah, Texas. It's not as sunny as it is over there in California, man, but
Yeah.
it can get hot here.
Oh yeah, bro. Triple digits. Like I know Texas just very minimal. I don't know what like from the back of my hand, to say. But I've been to Texas a few times and I know that the heat is different. And then I used to live on the southeast coast. I was in Georgia for a little bit. So I'm familiar with humidity and everything. But Cali is like dry heat, bro. And then especially being here in Sacramento, it's like dry heat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 8 p.m. right now and it is just starting to cool down.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of, that whole heat front or whatever the hell they called it, where
Yeah.
it was, triple digits here.
Mm-hmm.
Felt miserable, dude. I live in an apartment and it got to like 92 degrees inside
Oh,
the
yeah.
apartment. It sucked.
Oh yeah, bro. I remember when I was living in I lived in a few apartment complexes, but I used to live on the second story, and like all the heat would just transfer up and just sit there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No fun at all. So I hear you on that one. But bro, we got a lot to talk about and a lot to kind of break down. Did you able to? I know we were messaging a few times before this, but did you catch what would have been
The
cancellation?
Right?
Yeah, of the pre-fight.
I saw some of the drama. I guess there was some drama there, some beef between Hamzat and Kevin Holland's
Yep.
team there. Then Diaz had to come in as well. So kind of fishy, man. Kind of fishy.
Yeah.
I know it's real stuff, but for a card that a lot of people, I mean, to me, it's a good card.
Right.
I watch, a lot of my content is MMA.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people is characterized as kind of a weaker card.
Mm.
So it's just kind of coincidental that, all this drama and media headlines happen 2 days before the fight.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that. I mean, not only has it been, I would say, headline heavy, meaning like, the headline was like the attention grabber, the pay-per-view buyer, and then the rest of the card was a bit watered down. That's what, most people were saying. And then especially if you think about the backlash that Dana White was getting for even setting up the matchup that is, Hamzat and Nate, and then him, kind of like a few people were calling it like, damage control, saying like, hey, don't count Nate out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you think about all that, I can see, some fishiness for sure. But it was funny too, because before every time there's a pre-fight press conference, it's always like, 4 p.m. on Thursdays. So like I kind of prepare for that and I'm like watching it. Well, I set my little thing up and then I'm watching it. And, of course, the way UFC works, it's never on time. It's usually always like 10 minutes late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I knew something was going up because this was 30 minutes late, and I knew I was like, oh, okay, that's early indications of something.
Something major happened.
Right, something major. And then in the pre-fight build up on the show that they were showing like his contender series and everything, and it was like, okay, they're fluffing it, they're padding some stuff, they're kind of like dragging off or something, and then you see off top it was Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
Them two by themselves, and I was like, okay, something's up. You know what I'm saying? The gig is up.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Here's the thing, though. I don't usually I mean, spoiler alert to everyone here that would be shocked about me here, but I don't pay attention a lot to the press conferences. I'll usually catch the highlights there.
Yeah.
Just because I'm doing other things with either the show or work, all that stuff. So I remember when you messaged me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, something clearly happened. What happened? Then I started looking up, and then I see my phone's just spam with the cancellation. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Then come to know that Hamzat and Hamzat's trying to pick fights with everyone, or not even trying to, man. But all these people keep running their mouths. I'm not surprised that he would. He's not the kind of guy, man, that you insult out there. And if he catches you on the street, he's just gonna let you go.
Right.
I think the world's very polluted with people yapping their mouth on the internet. That I think that people don't see that there's true consequences to what you say.
Right. Now that's real, especially when you get all of them, all the fighters that is, together. And they're in the same building, interacting with the same people, and also, a day before weigh-ins, like tempers are flaring, and they're not in the best of moods.
Yeah, I mean, they're dieting, they're trying to cut weight, and these are professional athletes, and they're fighters, and they're not NFL players, they're not basketball players, like what you said, tempers flare, man. Like these are some real people here, man, that fight for a living to do this.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where this isn't the first time necessarily like something to this. Well, actually, it's tough to even say because they still don't even know, to what extent. I watched I don't know if you were able to catch it or not, but I watched the little like a 10-minute media scrum that Dana White was doing, like in the back, kind of like explaining everything. He didn't go into detail, but it was just saying, like the Diaz camp was like, 50 deep. Hamzat's crew was like 30 something. And then in between that, there was little altercations and stuff like that. So I was able to watch that right, before we got on and everything. But yeah, I don't know if it's more. I mean, I was sold on the fight either way, but this didn't really move the needle for me, per se. But I can see how some people could, to the public, can sway their opinions on it.
Yeah, they should have just done. They should just reverse the whole thing, man. Put what's it? Hamzat versus Holland. But Diaz versus who Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Just to put it out there, man. They should just switch the thing.
Just to throw everybody off.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's going to be the same thing either way. This card is sold on intrigue. What's going to happen with Tony Ferguson? What's going to happen with Nate Diaz? This is Nate Diaz's last fight. We're like, 98% sure he's going to go start his other company. It's very interesting, but at the same time, I always tell everyone this, Albert, that, the odds are the odds for a reason most of the time. Like right now, one of my friends, I was talking about gambling about football, and the Bills are playing the Rams, and I'm like, whoa, why is the Rams, why are the Rams 2-point underdogs at home? And sure enough, man, it's 31-10, and you're like, oh, okay, well, the odds are the odds for a reason.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that think, oh, Nate Diaz is going to pull this off. Man, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it.
That's what I wanted to get into next. So this one is, a fun one to kind of fun. I'm trying to find the right words to say. Fun to like break down, but like you said, odds are not in Diaz's favor. With the card itself, I want to do a quick rundown of the main card, and just to give, if the people don't know about it, let me just give the few. We won't do the prelims and the whole thing. I'll just go from the top to bottom. So in the main event, Hamzat Chimaev, Nate Diaz, Li Jinglang, the Leech versus Tony Ferguson, Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez, Irene Aldana, Macy Chiasson, hopefully I said that right.
Yeah,
Chiasson, Johnny Walker, Ion Kudabala. Okay, so not a bunch of big household names, you know what I'm saying? Not a bunch of pay-per-view stars. Like I said, it is top-heavy main card, headlines driven. But let me get back to the screen right here, actually. But let's start with the big two, man, the actual headliners. So Hamzat Chimaev, Nate Diaz. This is one of the intriguing yet, in my opinion, pretty lopsided matchups. You know what I'm saying? Like mismatch for sure. Me personally, just gives a background on me. I'm being in Sacramento, 30 minutes away from Stockton, big Nate Diaz fan. Been a big Nate Diaz fan ever since his Ultimate Fighters days. I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I was in high school, dude, when I first started watching Nate Diaz, and this was like 2009, 2010. That's when I was in high school. Yes, I'm old, and I used to watch all his old fights, and I didn't like him at first at the beginning. I didn't like him or his brother, at the beginning, because this was when they were back. They were doing their, their stuff, and this is around the time where they had that rumble at Strike Force,
Strike Force
with
bro.
Mayhem Miller, right? This is when
a hot minute ago.
Yes, this is when he fought Melvin Gillard, when Nate Diaz fought Melvin Gillard and got him in the freaking in a guillotine choke. And at that time, I was a fan of Melvin Gillard too. So at first, I didn't really necessarily like them, but then they grew on me. You know what I mean? Because you started to like the attitude. Well, I did. You started to like that go against the grain attitude, and you started to like the I'll fight whoever, whenever, and then really mean it. So they grew on me, and then of course, Nate reached a whole nother level of stardom once he beat Conor McGregor in that upset. And I mean, dude, I remember we were I don't know if you're familiar with this area, but it's in the kind of the central coast of California called San Luis Obispo near Paso Robles. It's like Pismo Beach. It's like a nice area that a lot of people are like go to because it's like the beach area, right?
Okay.
That night we went to this. I know it was a big fight. We went to this local club, and they had the fights playing on big screens. That the Nate Conor fight. And when he won, bro, like that place erupted. I'm talking about it was big, big, huge. And so, I've been rocking with them ever since. And I've seen him a few times here in Sacramento. I've never actually met the dude, but I've been in the same building as him, So that's kind of like my brief history with him. So I want him. My heart says Nate Diaz. I want him to win. You know what I'm saying? That's who I want to win. But at the same time, I do understand that at one point, this guy, Hamza, was like no joke, like a 20 to 30 to 1 favorite for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, how old is he? Like 23, 24, 27 maybe?
I'm not sure how old Hamza is. Though I do know that he's 11-0. He's 5-0 in the UFC now.
Mm-hmm.
And you heard these stories of this guy training, man, since he was going into being a professional fighter, man. You heard all these stories, myths, like he's kind of like this unicorn, man, that you didn't know actually existed. And then when he broke through the scene, people questioned him. That Gilbert Burns fight, I thought one of my easiest bets was the fight going over a round and a half, because he hadn't been truly tested. Right. Gilbert Burns is a gangster, man. He went there and fought, and it was one hell of a fight. Mm-hmm. And I'm impressed with Hamza. Now, my biggest thing, Albert, what makes this fight so interesting to me is you can't predict mentality.
Right.
Someone's mentality. You can break down the skill set and stuff. MMA, as we saw in the last, big major UFC event where Leon Edwards captured the championship. Congrats to him. But, anything can happen. It really can.
Yeah.
Slim to none, but it can. And one of the things is it's intrigue of not knowing what is Nate's mentality like? Because I was telling someone this, off camera. I was telling them, what if Nate just goes in there and like takes a couple shots from Hamza and just calls it a day, says, I'm done. I'm done. That's it. Fuck this. I didn't want this fight. I don't know if I can cuss on this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. He said, fuck this. I don't want this fight. I'm done. I'm good. Boom. Give me the check. Now, I don't think Nate's the kind of guy to do that, man. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he's that kind of badass that would flip the bird to the boss and say, I'm done, bro. I just wanted to get in, did my fight. I'm done.
Well, to your defense, if you think about it, his older brother, Nick Diaz, his last fight essentially did what you just said, and no one looked down on him about it because it was like, all right, that's Nick, his reputation kind of, it like out past that of the giving up, per se. So I wouldn't put it past him. I don't see him doing that, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if that'd be the case, because you just started your own promotion, you know what I mean? Or Inc.
He's got his money. He's got his money. He's got his name. He's got his brand. People would understand, oh, well, the UFC is just trying to screw him. Obviously, look at the fight that they booked him in. Look at how long it took to get him a fight. Now, Hamza, though. What mentality is Hamza in,
Yeah.
He went in there and tried to play with his food. And Gilbert Burns, they didn't take him seriously, and Gilbert almost beat him. Some people say Gilbert won. Some people say Gilbert won. So
I give him a round.
Interesting, the mentality. No, for sure.
Yeah, I give him one round. I wouldn't say, I didn't see the win from him, but I mean, he was definitely tested. Hamza was definitely tested, and that's what makes this. It's like I said, it's it's hard for me to dub one specific word when it comes to this matchup, because it's like part of me is like it's fun, it's interesting, but it's definitely a mismatch. And I think another thing too that I'm not putting too much stock in it or too much value in it, but one thing that will kind of get missed over the top with all this is how is this going to affect because now if you think about it, Hamza's been he was getting in a little small altercation with Paulo, Kevin Holland, now Nate's camp, all these little things. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Hopefully not. But man, what is that? What happens? What if he comes in like a pound and a half, 2 pounds over? What if it's a bad weight cut on top of all this?
They'd find a way, bro. They'd find a way to hold that fight. If this fight drops, man.
Oh no, they'll keep. I know they'll keep it, but what is that? What would that do to Hamzat's? You think it breaks anything in his mentals?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think so. I think go out there and fight. But I'm saying if they lost this fight card, man, man, no one would buy this thing.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. In Vegas too, yeah, very short on it. But I watched a lot of pre-fight stuff. I watched a lot of the interviews, especially with ESPN MMA, and it's kind of like I watched. I don't know if you had seen it too, but DC has this little check-in something with DC. I don't know if you had seen that one.
I saw him on DC with RC.
Yeah.
And I once I saw it was Ryan Clark talking MMA with him.
Yeah, you tuned off. You're like, okay, that's it. Yeah. yeah.
I mean, you're a great football analyst, bro.
Mm-hmm. Good. The Pivot podcast, good podcast too.
Which one?
He's a co-host on the Pivot podcast.
Who? Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's more towards football.
Yeah, more towards football.
Yeah, that's his game. That's stay in your lane.
No
it's like watching Stephen A.
Right.
Watching Stephen A. trying to talk MMA, and then he goes out there and says something stupid and just gets crushed by MMA media. Man.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious.
Well, I mean, yeah, come on. It's like some of the things he says. Sometimes it's like, come on, man. Did you even, did you do your research on it? Did you watch it?
Yeah. You just can't have those same football takes in the world of MMA because. I'm gonna tell you something. I'll tell you this something, Albert, and I think it's something that a lot of media people don't understand. That covering MMA and covering any other like sport, like let's just say the NFL and the NBA, for example, right? Two different things, man. Because if I go out there and I, criticize or say something about LeBron or Tom Brady, most of the time, man, I'm more likely not gonna be around LeBron or Tom Brady. Let's just say I were to say something like we saw Nate Diaz do a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago where you criticize something, you're talking shit, over and over again on the internet. And I mean, it's very well likely you'll be around ADS covering something, man. And some of these fighters, man, they'll tell you something straight up.
Oh yeah.
So it's very different covering MMA and covering the NFL and the NBA. And I think Stephen A slowly starting to figure that out, man.
Yeah. Well, did you watch that? I forget which fight it was, but, one of Nate's homies, I forget who was fighting, but he was like, you could see one of the Nauk boys with the hat. Did you see that thing?
Yeah. Nate slapped him. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's very different, man. I can criticize Tom Brady, and I mean anything that I do say, I would say to their face. But I'm also, understanding like fighters, man. Like, don't tell fighters that you lost money because you bet on them. That's one of the stupidest things you could say.
Right.
And don't do the same thing to anyone. That's not cool.
Right.
You're more than likely going to be able to get into an MMA media room than an NFL just because they're two different businesses. They're two different brands,
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, and from firsthand, you're right there with them. I saw, you're covering a lot of the PFL events. I saw you right there with Kayla Harrison, Anthony Pettis, you know what I mean? And then you interview a lot of these fighters too, so.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like you don't know what you're saying, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you got to be accountable, and you got to be careful. I'm not saying that that gives you the right to insult or criticize somebody. I mean, you can criticize whoever you want, man. It's just MMA fighters, man, are a lot different than any other professional athlete, man. These people fight for a living, man. These people have a lot more hanging in the balance, bro. Because if you're in the NFL, man, you manage your money right. You're making a couple $1 million a year, man.
Right. And rightfully so, they take a lot of this stuff personal,
Yeah.
Rightfully so. And I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what, so it's when it comes to them too and their camps, and I guess the feels for everything, it's like I said, going back to what I said, it's interesting, fun, but definitely a mismatch. Do you do picks? Do you officially give your official picks, or you kind of?
I do. I went back. It's been a pretty hectic week the last 2 weeks, but I'm actually I'm going to be doing a couple of locks in for the NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm glad I didn't do one for the Rams game today.
Yes. Yeah. No, I
But
did it. I didn't do this one.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'll do fight picks. Believe it or not, man, people tell me MMA is the hardest thing to hit over like football or basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Success rate's pretty high with MMA as far as betting wise. So I've had a lot of good success there.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, the smart what they say is MMA is like the least accurate or the least likely to win in betting, just because there's so many ways to lose.
100%.
I don't know if this is true or not. I personally don't bet in the MLB, but they say that MLB is like the safest bet.
Yeah, I've saw. I don't have a gambling problem, people.
1-800 gambler.
I've dabbed into. I do like to gamble. I do enjoy that. I do. I started going into MLB when we had like a very slow period in MMA. No football, no basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I do football. I do basketball. I'll do. Dude, believe it or not, man, I do UFC, PFL. I'll do one championship. I'll do LFA on the UFC pipe. That's how hardcore I am, man.
You do
I
one?
go LFA, man. Yeah, we win, man. I mean, me and my buddy always win. Shout out to my boy Sweet. Believe it or not, man, we've cashed in more on MMA than any other sport, man.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I don't do as much. I'll kind of stick with like bigger cards when it comes. I'm just hesitant to put, I don't know what it is about me. I'm hesitant to put actual money down. If sometimes I'll play, if it's credit, if it's just like credit like that, then yeah, I'll mess around even.
Oh, bro, I do dollar bets, bro.
Boom, boom. Oh, those are easy.
Stack up the odds. Stack the odds. I've done we've gotten like 18 leggers correctly, man.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't believe me. They're like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, man, look at this. I'll send it to them.
All right. So cool. So let me get your official prediction / pick for this main event, Hamza and Nate Diaz.
Man, so this card is built on mystique, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna win money betting on Hamza. Let's just leave it. I mean, it's he's minus 1,800.
Yeah. If your goal is to make money, you bet on the dog.
Yeah, for sure. But there's also other, like I use the other line. I either do the picks or I do the roundage. They'll post the lines because I believe it's a 5-round fight. Mm-hmm. So the lines right now is 1.5 rounds. It's gotta go over 1.5.
Yeah.
Now under 1.5, it's plus odds right now.
Mm-hmm.
So over is the minus. Obviously, you want the plus because the plus gives you more money. That's the dog line.
Mm-hmm.
Taking Nate Diaz and Hamzat over around 1.5. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's probably the card. My buddy wants to do this, do the under, man, but you can't fall in love with the odds, man. I think Hamzat and Nate go over around 1.5. That's for sure. But I do think Hamzat wins.
I got money wise because I did put money on this one. My money and my heart say 4th round stoppage via Nate Diaz somehow. Money wise,
some good money.
Money wise, and my heart, but my mind and I guess my reality of it is I see it being another callback to old Nate Diaz card, Nate Diaz versus Rory McDonald. What Rory McDonald did to him, I feel like is gonna be similar but just worse, unfortunately. And my mind, like I said, my mind says Hamzat winning, and I'd say within 3, pretty dominant. But like I said, my heart and my money has gone to Nate 4th round finish.
No, I mean you got to bet some money to win some money, bro. You got to take risk. I bet on Juliana Pena to win the first time, and so no one gave her a shot in hell. So you never know. MMA's different. MMA's unique. Upsets happen. I think Nate can find a way to get it done. I just think it's very slim to none.
Yeah,
but it's not to be corrected.
Yeah, and that's why we love MMA.
Yeah,
because of stuff like this is crazy.
It's awesome, bro. It's awesome. I'm enjoying this. I can't wait. Can't wait for the fight. I'm very intrigued, man. It's still going to be a solid card. I know a lot of people, like you said, is very top heavy. Mm-hmm. There's some great fights on that UFC main card. For sure. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go on to this co-main. So this co-main, speaking about mismatches and throwbacks and you're gonna do this one to me.
Yeah, Tony's Lee.
My guy.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine. Shout out to Alexis, Spider Alexis on Instagram. Podcast alone. What's up with it, bro? He's a big Tony Ferguson fan.
I love Tony.
And how could you not? He's fucking. Yeah. He's just one of those dudes, bro. He's one of those ones where it's like He's got like, a lot of people have like kind of like lost some faith in him, which I get, like lost like three straight or something like that, maybe four. But you look at the competition that he's fighting. I mean, fuck, they're all top five. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If not the champion,
he lost to Gaethje, he lost to Charles, he lost to Beneil. He's lost to who was a Chandler. Top dogs,
top
man.
fucking guys. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, and then like I said, at 155, arguably the most deepest division. So it's like I'm not counting him out. I'm not counting losing any stock in him. I will say this jump up to going up to like Li Jilang, like not the best matchup. I feel like there could have been a better matchup, especially at welterweight. But yeah, I don't know. In a weird way, I could see him. Surprisingly, I could actually see him, pulling off this upset, via submission, to be honest.
I think Tony can win this fight too, man, which is where I'm conflicted. I'm here telling you that odds are the odds for the reason most of the time.
Yeah.
They really are. Sometimes I think that odds makers don't know what they're doing. Like when they, labeled my friend Andre Petrosky plus 1,800.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, plus 800 dog. Thank you, Bet Online, for giving me that money. But sometimes, the odds are the odds for a reason, man. Tony is one of those guys, like what you feel with Nate is it's kind of like what I feel for Tony. Like I really want to ignore every single thing that I've seen, and I just want to put some money on Tony. And it's hard, and I'm probably still gonna do it, man.
You're gonna break my heart.
Gonna do it.
You're gonna break my heart.
Man. I do think he can win this fight. I do think it's closer than what a lot of people think. Like you just said, Albert, he's lost to top tier competition, man.
Yeah.
Top tier competition. Man, it's very hard. Fuck it, man. Tony Ferguson wins, man. Fuck it.
I'm rocking with Tony, man. I'm rocking with Tony on this one. And I'm really, like I said, maybe it's just I'm going with more so on my heart on this one. But I do feel like he can get it done, especially if it goes in the grappling department. I think if it stays standing, it's not a good night for Tony. If it could be a long night for him. So hopefully it doesn't.
I still think even standing, I think Tony can still get it done, man. When you look at that Chandler fight, Chandler almost got finished there.
Yeah, that first round, he was looking good with those elbows and everything.
Yeah, he's like now. Then Chandler, tried to transition. He is a top tier wrestler,
right?
Then the second round, obviously every round starts standing, and that's where Michael just did that highlight reel thing.
Yeah,
but I think Tony's got tank. I think he's got gas in the tank still, man. I do. I've defended him on my show and stuff, saying he's fighting top tier echelon guys. Guys are either world title challengers or world champions. There, I believe in Tony, man. I think I'm not gonna sell my stock on him. I'll give him this last fight.
Okay, yeah, I'm rocking with Tony on this one, and it's one, like I said, that it, not to keep repeating it, but it's just I don't, to me it's a mismatch. I didn't see how or why it should have been this matchup, but going up. I mean, how do you feel? I know he started off at welterweight, right, in the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him going up? Do you think it's more so of a like there was nothing left for him at lightweight and this was the only next viable move that made sense, or do you think it was just age?
Something from his team, because now he's with the True Camp.
Jackson.
Yep, training with some of the top tier guys now. A couple of my buddies, train up there, and I mean I haven't talked to him about Tony.
Yeah,
but I mean, again, it's top tier talent. A lot of young, hungry lions that he's training out there with, man. So I think he's going to get it done. I think it's probably something that the coaches probably suggested to him. A lot of people forget that when he was going to fight Justin Gaethje, I mean, albeit I think it was kind of dumb that he did it. He cut weight once when the pandemic started. Then he went back 30 days later and cut weight again. That might have damaged him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When he wanted to just prove a point that he was still going to make this
weight. Yeah, and then that might have damaged him too. And as you get older, losing those pounds, as at least I know, as I've gotten older, man, it's kind of hard to shred those pounds, bro.
Oh yeah,
good is good.
No, yeah, especially depleting your body from all the nutrients and and taking the water out from your kidneys, your liver, what that does to be constantly shrinking them and bringing them back. I mean, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that it was a move from the camp, smarter move, and I think it's just overall good. For him to just, get out of that. You never know with him. I could see him, going back to like back down if need be, or if he ever wanted to in the future. But it's all predicated on whether or not he gets this win. Because if he gets another loss, it's tough. It might be a fork in the road for him after this.
I think we'll see the best version of Tony Ferguson yet.
Dude. I hope so. I hope so. Shouts out Tony. So for this next one, Kevin Holland, Daniel Rodriguez, catch weight, right? 180.
Never betting against Daniel. I love both fighters. I'll never bet against Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Syndicate boy.
He's one of those dudes where I don't know, like I don't know why, but I just gravitate towards him. But I'm in a weird spot because I somehow gravitate towards Kevin Holland too. I don't think Kevin Holland's a safe bet. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the wrestling de facto. That's my thing. It's like I don't know if I can confidently, like, if someone was just like, hey, bet 20 of your own dollars on this one, I wouldn't put it on Kevin Holland. No offense. But if they say, here's 20 credits, or we'll pay this for you, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, Kevin Holland, But of my own money, I don't know. Especially it being at, 180. I don't think this is a win. I don't think this is a big loss or a big win for either of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is just a good fight. A winner obviously will be victorious and it will do good for them. But if one of them, I know one of them is going to be, is going to lose, but I don't think it puts them back too much, if that makes sense.
Not too much, just because the fight was kind of a short notice, which is why they're doing it at a catch weight.
Yeah.
Man, I'm on the Daniel Rodriguez hype train, man. I think both guys are on their winning streaks. Like I said, Daniel's a syndicate boy, man. I know, good buddy of mine, Corey Hendricks, out there that trains out of syndicate there, trains with these guys, man. Very, very well-versed people, man. Good, strong athletes. I think that he is the better fighter. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter, and I think Rodriguez finds a way to get it done.
Yeah.
I'm very confident here.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Rodriguez on this one too. I agree with you on that one. I'm still rocking with you, Kevin. I just this one is just it's a matchup. But they were supposed to fight prior too,
Oh, I didn't remember that one.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen a while ago. But I'm rocking with Rodriguez on this one too. So I'm with you on that one. The last two, do you want to run them down real quick?
Yeah, we'll give some love to Irene and Macy, man, because Macy is from Louisiana. I know a couple people from Louisiana, like just regular people that rock with her over there, that always tell me how great she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna have a tough fight with Irene Aldana. It's gonna be a very interesting fight. Irene, Hispanic, her Hispanic roots. Man, I'm very intrigued by this fight just because a lot of the smart money's telling you Irene, but I do think Macy's the kind of person that can pull off an upset, man.
Yeah,
they're both two big girls, man. Big, strong. I think Irene is slightly faster than her. Mm-hmm. I think where Macy has the edge is she likes to control that positioning in which she's pushing her opponent towards the fence. That's how she was able to upset Norma Dumont. So very intriguing fight. I think if you were going to bet on a dog you were unsure of, I think Macy's the underdog. I think you can risk it and put some money on Macy. She might be able to pull it off, man.
Yeah. I see. I like that she was getting some love on the embeddeds too. I didn't because prior to it, I was like, I never really saw her on the embeddeds. I don't know if I just missed it or not, but she was getting some love on the embedded. So shouts out to Macy on that one. I will say though, I am picking Irene on this one, just only because I've just seen more of her fights as opposed to Macy. So I'm not like 100% familiar with her. I think I'm only seeing. I think in total, this will be like my third fight that I'll have seen from her.
Yeah. And
Irene, it's just big. Like, they both are big, but I just been seeing her do more work, So I don't know if it's more so of the smartest bet or what I'm going or like, heart as opposed to what I've seen on this one,
Yeah. It's a tough fight, man. It's one of those fights though where I would advise people be careful what you're betting on because either or, man, will be able to win. It just wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. Number 4 to number 10, right? If I'm not mistaken. Number 4 to number 10.
I wasn't sure what Macy was ranked.
Yeah, she's 10.
Irene was number 4.
Yeah, Irene was number 4. Macy's at 10. So, it's not too far. They're definitely within the top. They're both in the top 10, obviously, but it's not like a crazy mismatch, So, yeah, it's definitely, possible. I can definitely see that one. And this next one, Johnny Walker and Kurabala.
I feel bad for Johnny, bro.
Yeah, it's, you know what? Anytime we start it, when we're doing picks and we hear the, it's gonna follow with, you know, some type of like we're gonna make
Uh,
a backstory for this thing.
I like the guy, man. You know, I thought he came up on the rise. Very marketable, man.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Walker, man. What do you go drink when you're at the bar? Some Johnny Walker, bro.
Red label,
Perfect
black
marketing
label.
stuff. And then yeah, and the dude, man. Oh my god, I'm never gonna judge a guy, but whenever since he tore his shoulder, bro.
Bro, I've never, well, I haven't done the worm in the last 15 years, but ever since that night, I for sure haven't done the worm since then. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it broke my heart, man, because he had
yeah.
so much potential. It still does, right? He still has
Mm-hmm.
potential. He can still do what he wants to do, of course.
Yeah.
But man, he was on the rise, bro. Marketing, man. How could you have not marketed that young man?
Bro, he was on the cusp. At one point, he was on a cusp of a potential fight with John Jones.
Yeah, people were
remember
talking
that?
about him.
Right.
Yeah, people were talking about it like, oh, Johnny Walker can become a real contender here.
Mm-hmm.
Then the worm thing. Sad, man.
Yeah, and then
It's a rough fight too for him, man. I think especially seeing how his last fight ended, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Jamal
kind of
Hill?
one of those things. Yeah, man. When
Yeah.
Jamal Hill finished him, I'll take Kutaleb.
Yeah.
My pronunciation's wrong on that.
Kudaleba, I think, yeah. I'll take him
yeah.
too, even though his weigh-ins antics get me nervous. I always feel like it's something gonna happen, you know what I mean? He just gets in their faces. Sometimes, you know, he paints himself green like the Hulk, and then I forget which fight it was, but he was fighting this Russian dude. I forget who it was, but like remember like they got in each other's each other's faces and like they twirled and then when they fought, it ended up being like a no contest and they had like a rematch. I forget the guy's name. It's slipping me right now.
I can't remember either.
But it was at the weigh-ins, they were like in each other's face, dude. And at at the beginning, you know, when they were in the octagon already, and they were doing the fighter announcing and the, you know, saying their names and everything. Remember, he walked up all the way to the dude and like he grabbed him and they started like kind of, you know, pummeling and everything before the fight even started. And I was like, Jesus, what are they doing? And then, you know, it ended up not going through.
Could be a fork on the road to whoever loses this one.
Yeah, and I just, you know, with Johnny Walker, you know, is he back with? Do you know if he's back with SBG? Or
yeah, so that's who he's training with for this fight. And
okay.
That's unfortunately the team that he was training with when the Jamal Hill fight.
Yeah, I did when he had switched camps and he was up in TriStar. At first, I was just like, oh, good move, you know, being there with Faraz Zahabi. I was like, oh yeah, this is a solid move, and I remember thinking like, oh, this would be good for him, you know, and then it didn't really go, you know, too good.
Yeah, it sucks. I like Johnny. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if I'm wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope he wins, man. I'm gonna take Ian though.
Yeah, me too. I got him on that one. No offense, Johnny, but it's just that worm.
You'd be wrong on that one.
That worm. That fucking worm, man. You know, so I'm not rocking with that one. But
yeah, man.
So
sucks, man.
So overall, you know, like I said, and that main card and everything, what's your excitement level, excluding, and I'll even make it a little bit difficult for you, excluding the main event, you know, because that's the attention grabbing and the pay-per-view draw. Excluding that, what is you like on a 1 to 10? Where you at with it as far as the whole main card?
I'm like at a 7.
Okay.
7 and 8. You know, I watch all that stuff, man. I watch all that stuff. I'd probably say maybe higher on another time of the year where UFC 280 is not around the corner, man.
Right.
We've all been waiting for that fight card.
Yeah.
I just love watching Islam and Charles. You know, I love watching both of those guys fight.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit higher, but right now, man, I'm just like waiting, like, oh, I'm crossing my fingers, checking the news, making sure that no one's hurt, no one's out for that fight card, man. But you know, I'm still excited, man. I'm a solid 7, you know, 8. You know, I'm excited for all those. I love to, you know, gamble on some fight picks, drinking some brews with a couple friends and just relax and enjoying the fight tonight.
I feel it. Okay, yeah. So that one's this Saturday. It's going down. I'm definitely going to be watching it probably as early as the prelims. I may be driving because after this weekend and because this will come out tomorrow, Friday morning. This will be out before, you know, the card even comes out and everything. But prior to the weekend, I'm gonna be like I'm going on a little family trip and everything. Yeah. But so I may miss like the early prelims, but I'm gonna definitely catch the actual prelims and the main card. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna not be there, but I'm gonna be like watching the whole thing. So I'm excited for that one.
Fight card.
Yeah, the whole fight card, pretty much. But so everybody tune in with that one. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to bet, or if you disagree with our picks, let us know. Hit us up, and we'll. I mean, I'm not one to turn away from a good argument, but before we're gonna go on to this next thing, dude, I definitely want to get your opinion on. But yeah, bro. So this last thing, well, not even last thing, but this next thing that I want to get into, which we talked about a little bit before, was this. As I don't even think it's been officially announced, but this matchup, this boxing matchup between Jake Paul and Anderson Silva. Has it been
official now?
It's official?
Yeah, it's official.
Arizona,
October
29th.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thoughts?
I'm excited, man.
Have you
look, man? I don't hate on Jake Paul like a lot of people do.
No.
I like Jake. I don't mind Jake. I'm not gonna knock the guy for the hustle, man. He's making money.
Not at all.
He's not doing anything illegal to get that money. If you can beat people if you can beat people in matchups that are very favorable to you and still get paid a shitload of money and be marketable out there,
yeah,
I think anyone would do it.
Yeah. I never had. I mean, I never had hate on the dude. You know what I mean? I was never one of those ones. When those guys are like, what the fuck? Who is he? Like, what is he doing? Like, the only thing that I thought at the beginning was like, all right, you're getting blown up a little bit too much, dude. Which was when he fought Nate Robinson, and he face planted him, and then he went on the ropes, and then literally I want to say like his next fight he was just like, oh, I'll fight Canelo within 2 years. I was like, all right, bro, like
take it easy, yeah.
I was like, come on, pump the brakes a little bit, bro. Canelo, you know what I mean? Like pump the brakes a little bit. So that was the only time I was just like, come on now. But ever since then, when he fought Ben Askren and he knocked him out like that, I was just like, oh, I mean, that's a legit hit, legit knockdown. Regardless of whether people want to say he was, past his prime, and speaking about Ben Askren, regardless of anything he was saying, it's like, dude, he still landed on, former world champion, landed on him and sat him down. And granted, it wasn't like he wasn't out. He wasn't out on his feet and everything. Oh, I guess kind of was, right?
Yeah, he dropped him, but Ben also admits now that it was just a payday.
Right. Yeah, it was just, I think not we all knew that, but the masses kind of knew. It was just like, all right, we knew. I mean, he even said it himself. He said like, look, man, I'm just going in there, and he's like, if he could box, like, then I'm fucked. He's like, if the kid can box, I'm fucked. Like, he literally said that, he's like, I'm assuming that I'm going in there, I'm just fighting a YouTuber, bad mistake. And I was just like, oh shit, good fucking hit, the timing was there, everything looked good. And then, going on to the first Tyron Woodley fight, it was like, all right, he went the distance, he got hit, faced some adversity, and I was like, and he beat him, I was like, he beat Tyron, and I was like, that's a legit win, you know what I mean? And the second one, we all know how that ended up. Like, so I was like, man, props to him. And I was, to be honest too, I was looking forward to the Tommy Fury matchup too, because
I was looking forward.
I was like thinking like, okay, I was like, this is a legit chance. And I wasn't counting out Tommy Fury like a lot of people were. A lot of people were like, oh, he's gonna get destroyed. I was like, I think it's gonna be kind of even, to be honest.
I thought Tommy would have gotten destroyed, man.
Did you really?
I did, bro.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that if you're gonna criticize Jake Paul, dude, bro, have you seen Tommy Fury's resume?
Yeah.
Like a guy that's 10 and 102.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to beat someone that, is very favorable, respectful, very favorable. I would do it too, man. But people are like, oh, well, if you're saying that, why don't you go fight Tommy Fury? And I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, I'm the kind of guy he would fight for sure.
Yeah, for real. What was he? He was on, was it Love Island?
Love Island. I haven't heard of that show. Did you?
I've never seen it, bro. I barely have time to watch fucking YouTube, and that's like my main thing. You know what I mean? Like Love Island. Yeah, I never saw it, but I did think it was I would say a closer fight than what people were saying. And again, I don't know if I was to say destroyed, only because I watched. I think they fought on the same card, right? The Tyron, that card. Tyson Fury fought. Tommy Fury. He fought the MMA guy too. What's his name?
T-Rex.
Yeah, I forget the fucking name. But it was it was I was like, oh shit, like he has some good like fundamentals and stuff like that looked good, and I was like, maybe that's what it was, because that was like my last impression on him, and I was like, okay, I don't see him getting like straight up outclassed and destroyed, my eyes could have been a little bit blind, so
No.
who's to say with that? But I was looking forward to that matchup, and then when it didn't go through, I was like, all right, then it was Hassan Ramen Jr. Did I say his name wrong? Ramen?
Ramen Jr.
Yeah, Ramen Jr. Right? Yeah. That one too, I was just like, oh shit, I think Jake has like, he's got his hands full on this one, in my mind I was thinking, oh shit, like I don't know, I'm not 100% confident he's gonna win, but I definitely could see him pulling it off somehow, only because the short, the short amount of time. It was supposed to be like 200 or 205, something like that.
I think it was supposed to be at 200, man. And so the story, I guess, behind that was that he said he would make the weight. Then he was saying that, oh, well, I want to weigh this much. And he tried to like throw it at Jake Paul, saying that they want him weak, but you agreed to the fight, bro. You agreed to the weight.
Yeah.
So that was where that thing kind of like got twisted there.
Yeah. And then I saw the video of him, like, I don't know why he put the video out, but then he did like a video. He was like, look, see ya. And it was like all the way down to 206 or something like that. And I was like, that still wasn't even the weight that you were supposed to weigh.
That's not even 205. Well, they gave you a pound at 205.
Yeah. But it was like, come on, man. So, but I was looking forward to that one too. And then I think this one's even better. And to be honest, yeah, kudos to Jake. Balls on you, man. Like, you got some balls on you. Because I don't see him. I don't see him winning this fight.
Anderson's an underdog.
Is he really?
Yep, plus 100. Well, they want to get you to bet on the fight. Oh yeah. They want to get you to bet on the fight.
It'll sway once you get closer. Once the pre-fight stuff starts coming out, once you start seeing the training videos and
Anderson's gonna close as a favorite.
Right. Yeah. And so I don't see Jake winning this one.
Dude, I was covering Triller. That was the first media event I was ever covering in person.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that fight card where De La Hoya was supposed to fight.
Vitor?
Yeah. And I mean, COVID did De La Hoya a favor, man. And even De La Hoya admits it now, man.
Yeah.
When that first happened, I was telling everybody, man, COVID did him a solid.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys. Allegedly that video. Hey, guys.
Do you think that was fake?
Do you think that Why you gonna put me on the spot like that?
No, because bro, people kept saying. I mean, Dana White, Uncle Dana, man.
Yeah. You
ever piss that man off, bro? That guy's not gonna hold back. But even fake? Like I remember seeing Dana, but was that a thing though? Other people think it was fake.
I definitely, my gauge of like how I can tell what is what, or like especially during fight weeks, like people's interest or what we can gauge what is real is what is fake is when I show other like family members or friends who are like outside of this fight stuff and because they can see it, and I remember I was talking to who was it? It's one of my cousins, I forget who, but because I'm Mexican, so we got Mexican family, and I was talking to one of my cousins, and I was like, hey, De La Hoya was gonna fight, and he goes, ooh, and I was like, oh, yeah, he goes, I thought he was retired. I go, no, not like that, fool, like not well, like that, but not like that, if that makes sense. Yeah. I was like, it was like, he's gonna be fighting Vitor, like this MMA guy, but he caught COVID. And the first thing they said was like, oh shit, is he okay? I was like, I mean, look, I showed him the video, and then he was like, they were like, is that it? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, doesn't look like he has COVID. So I mean, that's my little short gauge, I guess, when it comes to like measuring it.
It's fair. No, I think that's very bright on your end. I think that's very smart. You get someone else's take that isn't so caught up in the combat sports world.
Yeah.
COVID did him a solid, but he moved that whole week of Triller, bro, was a shit show. Sorry, Bernie. You hear this? But it was only a shit show, man, because it wasn't his or anyone else's fault. But so he got COVID. It was supposed to be in Cali, bro. So I had my flights booked. I got a hotel room. I had, a car rented out and everything.
Yeah.
Then I'm leaving. I'm visiting one of my buddies in Kansas City. Then I get the message like, yo, De La Hoya's out. I'm like, wait, what? And then they're telling me that they wouldn't sanction that fight in Cali.
Because Holyfield.
So then, yeah, against Holyfield. So then Holyfield goes to Florida. I'm like, dude, what the hell? It's literally across. And look, man, Florida doesn't sanction anything.
Oh yeah,
Florida will
yeah,
sanction anything. When
yeah,
people tell me, is Michael Bisping gonna fight? Shit, just take him to Florida, bro.
yeah.
They'll clear him.
Oh yeah.
So so that was going on, right? And I'm just like, man, it sucked. But whatever, man. It was a great trip. It was a great event. Donald Trump was there.
Oh, that's
You
right. Yeah,
know,
Masvidal
yeah,
was up there, right?
yeah, Masvidal was right there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw Anderson Silva fight, and to me it was full circle. But to me, Anderson Silva was this villain to me.
Oh,
He
is he?
destroyed Rich Franklin to me. Yeah, he destroyed
Oh
Rich
yeah,
Franklin's
twice.
reign. Yeah, I was a fan of Rich. Rich Franklin was like one of my first, favorite MMA fighters.
Yep.
Destroyed him twice. Then I was like, man, I just want this guy to lose. And we saw one of the greatest UFC streaks
Runs.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like 14, 16,
16
yeah.
before losing. And I remember watching Chael Sonnen, and I'm like, oh shit, this is it. This guy's finally gonna fall. And then that last minute. So, and going there, first MMA event, watching Anderson Silva was full circle for me. Dude, that man has some hands.
Oh yeah.
That man, he destroyed Tito Ortiz, bro.
Yeah.
Like nothing, bro. I think he could have won that fight blindfolded.
Yeah, actually, to piggyback off what you were saying as far as the villain role, now that I think about it too, at that time, I correct me if I'm wrong or y'all fact check me, but I want to say it was UFC 101. It was Anderson Silva, Forrest Griffin. I want to say it was UFC 101. I could be wrong, but I was a big Forrest Griffin fan back in the day.
Yeah.
What he did to him, I remember I was like, "How dare you?
Criminal.
How dare you?
Criminal."
Yeah, he went up. Because if you remember, again, if I want to stand corrected, if my memory serves me correct, I want to say this was the first fight after Forrest Griffin had lost already against Rashad Evans, and he lost the title.
Yeah.
And Anderson Silva, and I want to say Anderson Silva.
I think you're right there.
And I want to say
bounced.
Yeah, and I want to say this was Anderson Silva's first fight post when he fought in it was Abu Dhabi, I think, when he had that. The somewhat lackluster performance against Damian Maia, where Dana White walked out and everything.
You're right.
So I want to say it was past that, and I want to say they booked it because it was like, all right, he needs to be in an exciting fight. He wasn't on the great terms with the UFC brass and
big name,
right? And then Forrest Griffin, light heavyweight, literally former light heavyweight champion, who was like impossible to be in a boring fight. So they matched him up, good matchmaking. And for a while, I was like, I don't like this guy for a little bit,
bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hyped for that fight, and then he just starched for us.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to piggyback off that when you said that, because it made me think of that as well. But yeah, bro, it's I think as the great Roy Jones Jr. would say, you almost forgot. I know Anderson Silva's up there in age. I want to say he's like 47. I want to say
48, 47.
48. Yeah. Even then, I just, I think that amount of years of experience between fast twitch muscles and being in there and being active too. It's not like Anderson Silva's taking huge, years off and everything. So being active and having those years of experience and it being, they're doing what, 187?
This one's going to be at 187.
187. I actually think it'll kind of favor Anderson a little more, to be honest.
I think Anderson's going to win the fight, bro. I think it's smart money to bet on it. I agree with you.
I think because Jake Paul, he fought last, was that 200, 195, I think, when he might have weighed in at when he fought Tyron. And so I know it's not like a crazy, big disparity in between the weight, but I actually think it favor Anderson as far as it being at 187, dragging, Jake Paul down that much. Not that he's a big dude in general. I mean, he's a big dude, but it's not like he's, 215 or something like that. Yeah. So it's kind of random though, isn't it? Like I never pictured it in my mind or in the world Anderson Silva will be boxing Jake Paul.
Imagine saying that shit 5 years ago.
Right. Like but again, kudos to Jake Paul for taking the fight and for asking for it. And he actually been talking about it a couple fights ago. He was saying like how he would like to fight him. So, careful what you wish for him, man, because that's a fucking fight. That's a fight. And have they said how many rounds it's going to be? I thought
it was, to my understanding, it was 8 rounds.
8 rounds?
To my understanding, I may be wrong there.
Oof. 8 rounds.
I like Anderson though. I like Anderson.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna be rocking with Anderson on this one. But I'm excited for it, dude. It's coming up close. October 29th, Arizona. I wish I can go, but during Halloween, that when you're a parent, dude, and you have kids, like every holiday is like you're like showing out and trying to show out.
Yeah.
So and my little man's at this age where he's starting to like actually know what is what now, so we're trying to do something for him big on this one. Like I said, we're taking him to we're going on a little family trip. We're going to Disneyland, so that'll be fun. And then going right into Halloween, so that'll be fun too. So I won't be able to be there in person. I would love to, but I'll still be watching it. Are you gonna be trying to cover it or trying to get as much access to it as you can?
As far as that one, man, I'm not sure. As I know, I saw what Showtime's running it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, man. With a lot of MMA stuff coming up, I might be traveling to the PFL Championships. That'll be November 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be traveling there for that one, and with my everyday stuff that I have to do with the shows and the local events here, I've made some commitments. I need to double check my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
That one's gonna be probably tough on me, but I'll definitely watch it if I don't go.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
we'll be doing a lot of boxing and PFL stuff coming up.
It's always good to stay busy, bro. It's always good to stay busy, and it's just exciting times with all the upcoming, fights. It's exciting times, and I'm looking forward to all of them. But let's talk about what you got going on and everything, dude. Because you talk about PFL, and like I said, I've seen you. Interviewing some of the fighters. I see them having on your show Critical Conditions, right?
Yeah, Critical Condition Sports, man. 2 years this week, man. 2 years doing this thing.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, man. It's been a crazy ride, man. Shout out to everyone that's listened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Just this weekend, I'll be going over covering TMB Promotions. So it's a local boxing promoter that had over 40 events here, man. They go all out for their boxing events here, man. They have press conferences. They have the whole thing, man. Breeding tomorrow's stars in boxing, man. They really are. So I'll be covering that event there. I'll be dropping a bunch of interviews I did with fighters, like in-person interviews, media-wise. As far as the show, man, I mean, couple guests. I can't say some stuff yet as far as the guest is concerned, but I had Dave Van Auken here, who is the co-owner of Fight Bananas, which is a huge MMA platform there. He gave me some of his time, man. He's out here doing the thing, and we had him on the show this past week. We talked some football, MMA. Then coming up, man, I got a lot of great young up and coming MMA fighters, man. One thing I pride myself, Albert, is being able to tell you tomorrow's stars, man. And before people get into I think it's more impressive when you're able to see talent before it goes to the UFC than when it is going to the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ian Gary.
Oh, yeah,
I saw Ian Gary fight for Cage Warriors. I've had him on the show. And I told him before he even stepped foot in the UFC, man, I think you're going to be the future, man. And, sure enough, people have bought into the hype train. Yasmin Yauregi, before she even made into the UFC, same thing. And now, first fight in there, man, she's over there having Dana White congratulate her, man.
Yeah.
Watch out for Isaac Primetime Moreno. He'll be on my show in a couple weeks, man. He is the future at welterweight in the UFC.
How fucking fun is that, dude?
Yeah, dude, it's fun. And my boy Tracy Reader, we can't say the fight that he's got coming up next month in October, but he'll be on my show. He's 5-0. He'll be 6-0 pretty soon. Again, future of the UFC as well, man. Both of those guys, those are the next big stars to watch out for, man.
That's amazing, bro. I love what you do. Like I said, it's I love like the one-on-one aspect of it. And like I said, is you really getting to know these fighters and putting them out on the forefront and to the general public before they even make it to that next step. And actually, I just talked about this before too with I forget which episode it was or who I was talking to, but I was just referencing like I enjoy that moment of the rise. Oh, it was with Samuel. We were talking about like there's that roller coaster of rides before they reach like to that pinnacle or that stardom level. That little area where it's the grind and they're on the come up, that shit is, memorable. And because those ultimately, those are the things we look back on and we watch,
For sure, man. I love seeing the process, man. I like being right. I'm also wrong. I'm not right on every single thing, but whenever I tell someone, hey, this is someone special, someone to look out for, man, I want that to mean something to everybody. Whenever I give you the next prospect or the next big thing to see out there, I want people to know that means something. That's something. I don't just throw that around to with every single person.
Yeah. And so for the shows, you like, Is it only strictly like fighters, or is it just in the
No,
MMA
I have everyone.
community?
Nope, it's MMA, man. It's going into the podcast when I did 2 years ago, man. I wasn't even going to go into MMA. I
Mm.
wasn't even going to go into MMA.
You just want to
I
go
just
sports?
happened. Yeah, man. I just wanted to do football. I had this connection with Joe Giannetti, which was a UFC fighter. He was on the Ultimate Fighter season 27. It was the undefeated season.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
And after him, I'm like, man, I really enjoy talking to fighters. So I reached. I knew there was a couple local people that I knew were following me, and so I reached out to them. I kept having MMA fighters, and I started just sticking with my niche there, just because it's about finding your niche, and I really enjoy talking to fighters.
Yeah.
But I've had actors on the show. I've had various different athletes. I've had coaches. I've had business owners. I've had a little mixture of everything, man. But for the majority, it's people that are either fellow podcasters or MMA fighters in the world. But I tell everyone, man, I'll have a conversation with anyone.
Yeah, same. So tell me about it. Sometimes I the time goes a little too fast, or I just happen to keep going, and then next thing you know, I'm like, holy shit, I just killed an hour. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that, bro. But I love the fact that it's not secluded to just one sport. The fact that critical condition sports, that means it's a whole hub of everything. And we talk, me and you, that we've been doing it now, but it's also you're doing drafts, whether it be MLB, NFL, and then MMA, boxing, coaches, everybody just in the world. And I think that it's also, really beneficial because it doesn't just limit you to one avenue. It creates multiple avenues. And it's also like, it depends on what flavor you're into today. Like if a person wants to I want to get like some good insight on some boxing, we have that for you. You want to talk about some NFL stuff, week one kicking off, we could do that too. You want to talk draft picks? You want to talk fantasy football? What do you want to do?
College football, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what it's really cool that you have that hub for that. And you, like I said, man, congrats on the 2-year. We're actually approaching the 2-year mark on this one too, pretty soon.
Hey, congratulations.
And so I definitely feel you on that, man. And it's what's cool is that because of creating stuff like that is how we're able to connect, and how much we know, like. I would selfishly say no, a thing or two about fighting when it comes to or maybe just a fan aspect. I have trained a little bit here in Sacramento at Uriah Faber's, at Team Faber Spot. I trained there for a bit. I got some hilarious stories for that, by the way. If you ever want to talk about that shit, I got some hilarious stories. But I've met a few of the fighters who, again, I met a bunch of them. Speaking about the come up in the rise, I met them, dude, and was like training with them before some of them were even in the UFC, before some of them got to where they're at in the UFC, before some of them became champions. So, I got some funny stories for that.
Oh man, which one? Give me one.
I'll give you a little one that I always like to talk about, and so I don't know if you can notice or not, but I'm kind of self-conscious with my nose. So back in the day, I used to have a straight, normal nose, and now if you really look and like really pay attention, I have my nose kind of curves a little bit this way. So one time I was at this was 2013, maybe, or I would just say early 2014 or maybe late 2013, and I had got a membership for I was only there for like maybe 2 months at most at Uriah Faber's gym back when it was on I Street here in Sacramento, and I was training there, and it was a sparring day, and then I remember there was a girl there, it was a blonde girl, and I just happened to be like kind of matched up with her. And I didn't know much about the girl. All I know was that they would call her 12 gauge, or that was her nickname, right? Mm-hmm. So this was Paige Van Zandt, And this was before she was I want to say she was a ring girl at the time. She wasn't even in the UFC. She was super young. She wasn't able. This is at the time where she wasn't even able to go on the Ultimate Fighter because she wasn't 21 yet.
Yeah, she is.
So this was that tells you how long ago it was. But we're sparring one time, and I don't know. I just somehow ended up with her, and like she was just doing like some things like that, and I was again, dude, a month and a half in, maybe at that. She just fucking caught me with this straight, dude, and fucking hit my nose, and kind of like wasn't a full on break, but she did something to it, and I started gushing a little bit, and then I noticed that my nose started going like this, and then ever since then I just left it like that. So if you see a slight curve on my nose, it's
I can't tell it all, bro.
Good, thank you. Well, maybe it's the angle, but ever since then it just kind of curves this way a little bit. Again, maybe like if I go in it, maybe a little more, but yeah, she did that to me.
So Paige before she was Paige.
Yeah, before she was, like I said, doing all the like real time, like she was doing local circus stuff, but she was really like doing ring girl stuff. And then Cynthia Calvillo was there. Her and Cynthia Calvillo they were like training all the time together and everything. And like I said, I don't know how. There's again some more stories I could tell how I wasn't even supposed to be there, but I was training there, and then I got hit, and I was like, "Ooh, that was a good one." Then nah, my nose.
Well, I can't tell, brother. I promise.
Thank you. But I got a bunch of those, man. So if you ever need anybody on to go on there and talk about it, or even just sports stuff, I got a bunch of funny story, whatever sport you want to do, MLB, NFL, NBA, boxing. I've been to all the events, so I'm a big sports guy too.
I feel like we'll have a lot to talk about in the future, Albert.
Yes, sir. Especially when it comes to the fights, man. Now that, like I said, anytime we want to do some of these and cover some stuff down, dude, like just let me know. We can set this up,
bro.
All right.
For sure, man. It's I always enjoy talking to everyone, man. It's always fun having a conversations, going into some deep dive with some of these fights. Can't wait for the October card, man. I'm so pumped for it.
I'm right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too. Oh, actually, am I crazy? Answer this though. Am I crazy? Is there? I know it's been like, I know Khabib has said pretty much like, that's it. Close the door 100%, not coming back at all, right? Am I crazy though? If Charles Oliveira submits, now not just beats, but submits Makhachev. Yeah. And not just beats and submits, I'm talking about beats, submits him, and like kind of in a dominant fashion. Goes on the mic, goes in the corner, and straight calls out Khabib right there and be like, this is your guy, or this is your cousin, and calls him out. Do you think Khabib will bite?
I don't think so.
I don't think
it's
so,
fun to theorize on it, but I don't think so, man. I want to believe, man. I hope so, just because I think Charles's run has been more impressive, man. Like I really do. I think it's a lot more impressive than anything that we've seen, to be honest. Because I mean, he's starching these guys. It's a lot more impressive. He's having to go through. I mean, not saying that Khabib never had to go through anything mental, man, but just seeing how that Gaethje fight transpired, man, with the whole scale thing in Arizona. I mean, Justin had every right to beat this man, dude, and this man did not go down. So it'll be interesting, man. I hope. I cross my fingers that we see that fight happen at some point, but I don't think Khabib's gonna fight, man. I don't think he'll bite. I think that he's pretty set on not coming back.
Retirement, right?
He's happily retired.
Yeah, I actually, when Charles Oliveira fought Dustin Poirier, I actually called. I bet on that fight, and I told Alexis too. I told him, this is what you should bet, and he didn't. He bet against me, and then lost. But I told him, I was like, dude, 3rd round submission, Oliveira, and I was like, I could see it. I was like, honestly, probably by rear naked choke, because Dustin has I'm not gonna say tendencies, because it's not like it happens a lot, but that's kind of been his Achilles, if at all was that, and sure enough, choke 3rd round. So I got that.
Yeah, that fight broke my heart, man. I like Dustin too, man.
Yeah.
How do you not root for Charles, man? I'm very excited for that fight.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too, man. So maybe that's another one we could do to break down before it actually comes out.
I think we'll have to do that for sure. Okay, man.
I'm with that.
It's a very juicy card, man, top to bottom. I can't wait for that one. We got a hell of a fight card, this coming Saturday.
Yep.
A lot of stuff with combat sports, man, coming up. 279, 280. We got the PFL in November. We have
football this weekend.
Return of John Jones. Yeah, football this weekend. The possible return of John Jones in December. I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Great season as a sports fan.
Yep. You got to love it, man. And we got so much more to talk about and break down once we get closer to him. So thank you very much for coming on, bro. Thank you for taking the time out. Like I said, I know the time difference coming from Texas. I know it's a little late up there.
No. I'm always happy to do it, bro.
Thank you very much. And yeah, man, I'm excited for people to hear this one and check it out.
Hey, no, I appreciate you having me on, man. Seriously, shout out to you, man. I like what you've been doing on your show. I like some of your the social media content that you put out there, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy that stuff, man. Thank you again for helping me and putting me on your platform as well, man. I appreciate that.
Of course, man. Thank you. And yeah, man. So if y'all like this, if y'all like Jose, check him out. Like I said, he's doing amazing fucking things with the critical condition sports content that he pushes out. He's doing his thing out there as far as getting out there with the athletes, the coaches, or just anybody in the sports world. And I specifically like what he does with at the PFL events. And and breaking these characters and getting them to open up more when they can, So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So that's it, man.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank
All right,
you so
bro.
much, man.
All right, everybody.
Peace.
Y'all stay
Take
safe.
care, man.
Peace.